Ugh. I need a coffee the size of my head. Oh, we're on? Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I really don't want to be here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the evening show. So I have a few fun facts for you guys. There are 392 billionaires in the United States. In 2004, J.K. Rowling became the first billionaire to become a billionaire by writing books. Way to go, cheap literature. This is not funny at all. When caterpillars are placed in a circle, they will continuously follow each other around until they die. Aww. This one is adorable. Oh, this is my favorite. Cats lift their tail and show you their butt as a way to say that they are comfortable with you. In other words, cats have been twerking much before Miley Cyrus. On that note, twerk is going to be added to the American English Dictionary. Shit like that is the reason why alien spaceships fly straight above our heads. Alright, this is the favorite of everybody else. I think it's just stupid, but anyway. Female duck vaginas contain multiple dead ends to help protect them against duck rape. Eating out with friends can boost happiness and diminish depression. There are enough restaurants in New York City for you to eat out every night for 54 years and never repeat the restaurant. You're probably gonna get food poisoning half of those times, but that's something else. Oh, I just realized I'm not even ready to host this show. Oh well. This one is boring. Who wrote it? Oh, okay. So some tips for the ladies. You will never look like the girl in the magazine. The girl in the magazine doesn't look like the girl in the magazine. Second tip, most important one, you might want to write this down. If you want a guy to leave you alone, don't tell him you have a boyfriend. He doesn't care. Tell him you have a penis. You're welcome. Alright, next up. Britney Spears have been accused of lip syncing ever since I was a little boy, because I'm young. Fun fact. According to theory management theory, the reason why I'm completely delusional about my age is because I refuse to acknowledge the absolute truth of my inevitable death. Anyway, I forgot what I was going. Oh yeah, Britney Spears. So she's being accused of lip syncing and, you know, not really talking or singing or speaking in general in her concerts. And then a lot of people wonder, how can this crazy bitch get away with it? Well, folks, here's the thing. Britney Spears has mastered the old saying that a facial expression is worth 1,000,000 words.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Shut up! Anyway, that's how she gets away with it. In fact, Britney's face is so versatile that it can be applied to pretty much any situation in life. For example, this picture, it happens to be one of my favorite. Let's take a look. Want to see? Okay, so imagine the following situation. The professor asks you a question, but then when you start answering, he interrupts you. When you're walking in New York and the person who's walking in front of you all of a sudden just stops. When someone cuts you in line. When people update their statuses about their workouts. When people text you inviting you to do something and then you call them back 30 seconds later and they don't pick up. When you're trying to get off the subway and people start getting in like a bunch of animals that can wait for their turn. Well, maybe I take this one way too personally. When someone starts talking when you are talking. Gay Republicans. Now, let's all have a round of applause for our first guest. She's here to talk about her third bestseller book, Why Figs Don't Cry. Yeah, that's the title. So anyway, she's a writer, she's a singer, she's a dancer, she's an acrobat, she's a professional puppeteer, she's a Secret Service agent. Oh, no, she's not a Secret Service agent. Ladies and gentlemen, Daphne Dudo. Hi.
So my book...
So tell me a little about your book. How are you? Have you ever been on TV before? You look terrified. I don't bite.
So my book is called Why Figs Don't Cry. Why Figs Don't Cry is an allegory. I'm a psychiatrist, not a nutritionist. Why Figs Don't Cry explain the deeper issues underlying why people find crying to be weak. Why don't men like to see them cry? Because they're expected to be strong all the time. There's so much pressure for people to be strong in this hard world that we live in, just the same way that figs feel a deep responsibility for those who eat it. Strong humans feel that they must hold it together, while weaker people cannot. Did you know that eating half a cup of figs is as much calcium as half a glass of milk? I bet you didn't, Richard. Tell me, Richard, what is the purpose of calcium? Richard, calcium is to build strong bones. Everybody knows that. That is the fig's way of radiating their strength to those that consume him. These figs cannot cry. They cannot break down. People need them for their calcium. They can't give up. This is exactly how the stronger members of our society feel. They must live up to others around them. They can't reveal any weakness.
Are you still talking? I have to pick up my kids at the city. Let's wrap it up, lady. Oh, you're done? Okay, so. And by the way, this is from 2008. This is the work condition I have to be under in this place. That's what happens when you get a host of a TV show job on Craigslist. Never do that. So, so just some tips for you about your whole rant. You need to get yourself some vowels, some punctuation, and some silence. You talk too much. Besides that, it was great. So you're releasing a single as well, right?
Yes.
It's a new CD. Well, do people release CDs still? Do people do CDs?
They will when this one comes out.
It's iTunes, yeah. What's the name?
Why Figs Don't Sing.
Of course it is. Who is singing?
Me.
Alone?
It's featuring Nicki Minaj.
Of course it's featuring Nicki Minaj. I am so over you. We need to move on to our next guest. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, Daphne Dudo. Next up, he was a member of the Scientology church for 12 years, but soon he realized, wait, soon? What do you mean soon? The dude took 12 years to realize, who the wrote this shit? Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Cruise.
No, we don't have Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's not who we're having.
Yeah, no, that's not.
That's not. You know, I have no clue what's going on in this show. Most of these papers are just blank papers for show. Calvin knows much more than I do about what's going on in this place. Who are we having?
His name is Chad.
Chad what?
Just Chad.
Just
Chad.
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 Oh, gee. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chad. Hello, Chad.
Good, you?
I'm good. So what's up with the name? So it's just Chad, there's no last name?
Nah, man, I don't believe in last names. Yeah, I believe last names are way too restricting.
Yeah, whatever. So you're releasing a new book, right?
Yeah.
How is it called?
The Do's and Don'ts of Life by Chad. And basically this book has 5 rules. Rule number 1, don't join the Church of Scientology. Rule number 2, don't piss off Tom Cruise. Rule number 3, escape from the Church of Scientology and Tom Cruise. Rule number 4, learn psychology Wikipedia. And last but not least, rule number 5, publish a bestseller with some change in your pocket and a year's worth of figs.
I quit. Oh god damn it, I hate working here. Hello everyone, welcome to the evening show. I know what you're thinking. I thought he quit yesterday. Me too. Anyway, as it turned out, I'm in contract, so I really can't. I don't have really a choice, so yeah, I could, yeah. Quitting wasn't a possibility. So, we got evicted yesterday, since apparently our show was so bad that we had 5 people watching, and one of them was my mom. And she hated it. So we tried to just change the format of this shit show a little bit. Anyway, this is what we're gonna do. So our guest yesterday, Chad, without a last name, I think we remember the Britney's face, right? Should we have it? Oh, we don't have that anymore. Apparently there was a lawsuit. Great, so we have a new sponsor that I need to mention them. Fiber One, we're at the Fiber One Lounge now. And it's amazing, as you guys can see, much better than the previous one. And this is what we're gonna do. Chad said that he learned psychology in Wikipedia. And as we all know, Wikipedia is not the best place to study psychology. He claims that that's all you need. So I decided to put together a little game. This is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna describe some theory of psychology, a term or something, and I'm gonna have two people competing against each other. And we're gonna see who gets to answer correctly. Basically, we're gonna have a buzzer here, and we're gonna have Chad here, and as it turned out, our producer actually studied psychology, but couldn't get a job, and he ended up as a producer. So we're gonna have Calvin going up against him. So the buzzer is here. I'm gonna start describing the term, and whoever scores 3 points first win, and whoever loses get pie on their face. This pie is brought to you by Fiber One. Again, Fiber One. Hashtag Fiber One. So we're gonna have our guests coming now. Let's get our buzzer. Do we have a buzzer? So my producer says that we need to use a Fiber One brownie instead of the buzzer. It makes total sense for me, because how are you gonna plug Fiber One in a show like this, right? They don't even make pies for Christ's sake. This one's like whipped cream. Alright, so this is the buzzer. So, welcome back, Chad!
What's up, Richard?
Good. Everything's great. I love it. Do you like our new studio?
I love it.
Okay, awesome. So, now we're gonna have Calvin. Alright, you guys ready? Great. I'm not. So the brown is right here. Whoever knows the answer hits the brownie.
Okay.
I feel like this... Oh, anyway. Alrighty, so the first term. This type of group are basically employees that get together in an organization to brainstorm.
Quality circles?
Yes! 1-0. Second one, this one's the easy one. I mentioned yesterday, so the 5 people that were watching, remember. So according to this theory, we have psychological processes. They're built around avoiding the idea that we are going to die. And we do everything that we're capable of doing in order not to deal with that idea.
Terror management theory.
1-1. Wikipedia?
Yep.
See? Living and learning. Third one. It's pretty much like myself. It's the idea that when you're in front of others, you try to...
Social presentation.
I was talking about narcissism. No, you're right. Okay, the next one. Wait, what's the score? Anyone's counting? Because I kind of just tuned out. I'm just winging this thing.
I believe it's 2-1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 2-1, everyone. It's so exciting. So, next term. Let's say you're having a group project. And everyone is working very hard. And then there is that one person that kind of just like, do the minimum to just get through it. Because, they're not going to get feedback anyway. It's the group that's getting a grade. That happens a lot at school.
Social loafing.
I know how you learned that one. Good. 2-2. Is it 2-2? Who's counting? 2-2. Yeah, alright. Cool. Way to go with the... Next one. This theory, which is one of my favorite theories. Basically, it says that people believe that there are winners and losers. And in order to be a winner, there's got to be a loser. If your group wins, another group has to lose. So people that have this ideology believe that the world is very competitive and there's no enough resources to everybody.
Social dominance theory.
Now, please just smash this pie on this crazy person's face. I'll be on my way. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to the commentary portion of this video.
When you think that it's not over, yeah. When you think it's over.
So we wanted to actually highlight how our group came about and what effects we had on each other, and just the process of the group. You saw the video, which was kind of the output, but we wanted to have a moment to talk about how we came to what you just saw. So who wants to go first here?
I guess we can start off by saying that, like, the video is just like proof of how far we've come, like, as a group, because in the beginning there was definitely a lot of tension between all of us, just because we're like very strong personalities, and
yeah.
we wanted to...
Well, yeah. Like in the beginning, we were, especially like Calvin and I were the ones that clashed the most in the beginning.
It was fun.
Big time.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you don't want to read my first and second journal.
Yeah, like the professor knows all about this.
Okay. Moving on. Let's not get back into it.
But we're fine now.
We put down the pitchforks.
No big, yeah. So, our group was very interesting because usually, one thing that I was just talking about before, usually like people think of leadership as, I think for me at least, this group was a big experience of patterns of leadership. Like it was the biggest thing for me, and like we think, bless you, we think of like, you know, some people think of leadership as a bad thing. So society's problems are based on leadership. But then as use an example, you know, in the cave time, like when people had to hunt their own food. If you don't have a leader, everybody's gonna go hunt, for example, and then no one's taking care of the kids. No one is like, you know, there's no vegetables and nothing, and everything is chaos. And any situation that there's no leader, a leader just emerges because it's a crucial thing for survival. So it's just a natural thing. I knew that before starting this class. So the interesting thing that happened in this class was that we got assigned in a way where we had 3 very strong leaders, and thank you Jesus, we had a mediator, which I think we agree was a deal. Okay. And yeah, so you know, we're not in the cover of the New York Times with mugshots right now because of this guy over here. So it's just like we really clash because usually, like Calvin said, we're both used to the same thing. To start group, and then there's like a social loafer over there, it's like, you know, and you just, we're gonna do this, and let's get going. And we're both like that. So first, I think it was like, how long did it take us to clash? 2 minutes. Like first was like,
it was like literally the first day of class.
It was kind of like the first day, and then it was the second day, and then the third day was still a little tense.
Yeah, but the first few minutes was already like that.
Like the first like week, it was like that.
Calvin just like take over and blah blah, and I'm like, actually, and Jordan is very strong. Like she's a very strong leader as well. I think we kind of had a bonding moment very early. Though we stayed like after class, and that kind of like smoothed things out.
But one thing that we were talking about earlier, though, is just the fact that because, like, even though Adil, you took like a little bit longer just to like warm up to us, though, like I think Adil is like also a leader in his own way, just because like he kind of like massages the group in a direction, and like as like he kind of like helped us come together. So it's like I think that's leadership in and of itself. It's just not like as aggressive as the 3 of us are, and so yeah, and so for me it was like a big change because just like all 4 of us are also competent, and like every week like we got our stuff done, we all like counted on each other, and we could count on each other, and I think that's just like so rare because normally I think what we're all 4 used to is being the person in the group that has to like take charge and then like shove the sheep along to like kind of get everything going. And so like in this group, every single one of us like brought something to the table, and we all cared, we all had an opinion, we like all shaped our final project to be what it was. And I think like final projects and things like that normally like reflect one person in the group more than anyone, and like that would be like the leader in our group. But like this video that you guys just watched is like equally like all four of us, like we all like all of our styles, our sense of humors like clashed and like came together in this movie. And so I think that's like really unique.
If I had to pick one theory, like from all the ones that I had like a list of like the leadership substitutes theory, that's what happened with us. If you ask me what's our, because I kept like what's our leader, and what you said about Adele, it ties up with that. I think it's like we kind of like split it, like the leadership into a total alternative.
Essentially what happened was like, because we're all competent and we're all like self-directed and we're all task-oriented, this kind of allowed us to work without a like designated leader like telling us what to do. We all had this idea of what we wanted and how to do it, so we all just kind of divvied up that idea and we just did it. And yeah, we had this like really rough forming and like storming stage of coming up with ideas, and you know like the two of us clashing, and we couldn't really get to a decision. Like it took us like halfway through the semester in order for us to actually decide on a video.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's kind of what made our group cohesive. Like it was like after we exited and we finally decided, okay, we know what to do now. The second we decided we know what to do, we kind of just stopped bickering. All our feuds, all our like arguments just kind of stopped. We all became really task oriented. We were all like, okay, we need to do this. We did it, and that was really it. It came down to like, I remember like around towards the end, our meetings were like 20 minutes, not even, where we just kind of refreshed on what we're gonna do, the due dates, and that was it. There was nothing else that needed to be said.
And for me it was trust, because is that romance of leadership. Like I was terrified, like we need to have a leader. If we don't have a leader, this thing's gonna fall apart. What's gonna happen? Just you know, and I started using this in my, you know, I can see this in my work already. I can see, you know, like it reflecting in my everyday life. Trusting in other people's potential. Like I don't, you know, it's just not like I have this crazy need for power and I need to dominate and control. I just really want things to get done. Like, you know, I want to get things done and get things well done. And that video was very well done. It was good, right?
Really good. It was pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. Thank you.
This is when you all nod. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was really
Right?
Good deal.
Good.
What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I would say that I'm pretty proud of this group. You know, we really came together. Oh, my phone. After that first week of storming, we really came together, you know, and we came up with a quality product. You know, we spent the time in the meetings, brainstorming, coming up with random ideas, such as the Church of Scientology, Why Figs Don't Cry, and Richard's Rent.
I think really what made me realize, like at what moment made me realize like what we were doing well was at second proficiency. We essentially did a beer drink, like a take on a beer game where you have a character you put on your forehead and everyone else knows who you are but you, and you try to guess who you are by the hints that they give you.
Dr. Johnson said we should have filmed that thing. We should really have filmed that thing because it was amazing.
Yeah, and it was at that point I was like, okay, I'm actually having fun with these people.
Yeah.
That thing was so hilarious.
Yeah, we were like laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
Which like if you had like even like shown me like a YouTube video of us playing that game and laughing so hard, shown me that like on the first like day one, I would have been like, yeah, right. We were like probably like not even on drugs would we be that happy together. But
yeah, like it was at that point that we created all these like unique ideas, these, like not even just unique, but like fun, creative, and we just all came together really. We made this pretty grueling of a task enjoyable.
And I mean, I think the more that we trusted each other's skills and abilities and commitment, the more we just raised the bar, and because we knew we could divide the work and we could do it. And yeah, I mean, a video like this is doable in a semester. We had 5 weeks to do this. Most of us work full time. I think we all work full time.
Yeah.
And we had 5 weeks to do this, like, you know.
That in itself is a reflection of like how competent all 4 of us are.
Yeah, I missed
like,
my
how
trip this
hardworking.
morning because I had to shave to do this video. Yeah. That's how busy I am.
I love this giant like equipment set here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Actually, let me show you something. Let me show you what Richard did. So all that over there, that like entire wardrobe setup, those ties, like that giant's elaborate thing, and like there's more on the chair, there's coats, and all that is his. He came all that.
This guy does not do anything small.
This guy came here saying like I'm going to go through like 20 costume changes and.
I went to Banana Republic and I said I want one of these in every color.
Essentially.
Pretty much.
And
I didn't get to wear them all, but
in the end we became this really cohesive group. And now we enter the departing stage.
I know.
It's the departing stage. We'll like see each other.
I find it kind of interesting because normally, especially before, because we're so task oriented, we didn't really create any social bonds. But as time went on, we kind of like enjoyed each other through our work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
It's weird because it's like every time that we sat down with the process group, we're like, oh, the friendship is growing and people are like getting attached and this and that. And in the task group, we didn't experience that because we're just so focused on the task.
Yeah.
It's all business. And then now there's like, no job's practically done except for poor Calvin that has to edit the whole thing. Sorry. I'm just realizing, wait, we're doing it all along. You know, like we're developing these friendships all along. It's yeah, it's pretty amazing.